Actively spoke up. This ain't the community we found. We're gonna file a lawsuit. We're gonna go to court. You know, if you learn your procedures and follow your procedures. But the point with us is we're voting and putting in people who don't come from our community, who's not come from our conditions, right, and who are paid and by other people,
Right.
right? That's the first thing you got to stop and say no. You don't come from our conditions, our situations. You can't speak from us. You can't speak from us.
Right.
And the only way to speak for us is if we're the people who finance your campaign, if it's 25. Because you ain't got to do mass talking because we already picked you
Right.
to speak for us. And this is
Right.
what you're going to say.
Right.
You
Right.
know, this is what you're going to say. This is what you're going to do.
Right. 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 Yeah.
You-
Yeah.
That
That makes sense.
that's the difference, and that's what a lot of them do. But it's the wealthy do it.
Right.
They
And the ones who are aware of the process,
well,
who actually, when we see it, like when we see it on little news counts or on sound bites, or even as it's presented in movies. And that's one of my favorite things. Everything you need to know, since we love to watch movies and stuff, they put it in the movies. They put it there for you to know. It's just they have so much entertainment fodder that they added
mm-hmm.
to it that it clouds the message that was put there. But what you need to understand often, more often than not, is actually placed in a good, solid commentary type presentation, whether it's a movie or a show. But going back to that, like you said, you can't represent me if you don't understand my position and my specifics. And as you said earlier, it's kind of hard because we have been so thoroughly poisoned with anti-us ideology. Everything we have no interest in learning about the things that affects us, which is one of the primary things you talk about. You don't understand how these things affect you. You think they don't, but they do. And then you give up saying, "Well, my vote don't count." It's not that your vote don't count. It's just you don't know how to utilize your vote, and you can't say that that's not possible because it was done. That's why people were hurt for it. That's why they had all of these laws and policies and practices where they were keeping people from voting. If your vote really don't count, then why are they still going through all these efforts to keep you from doing so? So that's a lie.
But
Let's start with stop telling ourselves that lie, correct?
they tried to actually discount the Milwaukee vote because they wanted not the black vote to go a certain way that it didn't go. It didn't go for. They knew the black vote was gonna go for Biden, so they wanted to discount the black vote everywhere. That's the same way as Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everywhere we was at, they tried to discount your vote. They are angry right now. They rioted on 6th Street because of black vote. We voted. We gave away our vote. Don't get me wrong now. For somebody I don't feel we should have gave our vote to, right? But I ain't gonna go into
Agreed.
that now.
That's
But
another whole
that's
other
another
subject.
subject. We gave our vote away, right? That's true. But they still ran in that building, right, to counter our vote. Think about this: 66% of whites voted for Trump. 92, 93% of blacks voted for Biden. The cities
Where
they
votes counted,
protested
they counted.
and the votes in the city that they tried to get the votes overturned at were black cities: Philadelphia, Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, Milwaukee.
So if your vote didn't really count, what was the purpose of the insurrection? What was the purpose of these efforts where they continued to try to suppress it? They had passed laws for it. So again, going back to what you said, when it was upsetting and it was disgusting to you when people said, "My vote don't count." If it don't count, why are they doing all this? And why have they always done all this? So that's not necessarily true.
What it is you're not going to stand up for your vote.
Right.
See, you have uh, poll watchers,
Right.
you have poll counters, you have volunteers to do these things, right,
Mm-hmm.
to secure the election.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to make your poll count. You
Right.
got to you got recount processes that the people can call for. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be prepared to go through those processes.
Right. Like anything else that you want.
that's worth having.
That's worth
Right.
having. Exactly.
So what happened is you decided that your vote wasn't worth fighting for anymore.
Mm, powerful.